Hi, and I'm Mandi Pryor, Executive Director of the Southwest Regional Chamber of Commerce, and this is the Southwestern PA Business Podcast, Videocast. We do it all here at the Chamber. And today we are here with Liz Mims. She's from Dress for Success, and we are so excited to have her. She's going to talk to you a little bit about what programs they have going on, how you can help, how you can get involved, and what's in it for you. So, Liz, hi, welcome.
Hi.
I like to just rope people into this. I'm like, come along. We're going to have a conversation.
Here. It's going to be great.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about you and your role at Dress for Success.
Yes. That's a long, convoluted story, so I'll keep it short. It's a great time, though, if you ever have time. So I've been in nonprofit work. I realized this at the top of 2023, since 2002, which is it seems like such a long time. I mean, 20
Absolutely.
years. So it's really all I know. And I started with youth work in the Hill District of Pittsburgh right after college. That slowly transitioned to mental health work. I feel like if you work in youth and in mental health, that gives you like a really wide scope of understanding people, you know.
How they work.
How they work.
Think.
Yes, yeah. And the empathy that comes with that. And so I just fell in love with nonprofit work. Connected with Dress for Success almost 7 years ago now. And I started actually in the Washington branch as the branch manager. So I would commute from Pittsburgh. I lived in Pittsburgh, still live in Pittsburgh, Allegheny County into Washington County. And at the time we were on West Bow Street, which was great because it was right across from the Goodwill. So that
I think I was out to that location.
Yes,
yeah.
You used to come out there.
I did.
And so, yeah, Goodwill was my lunch break, so it was fantastic. And then
I spend money at Goodwill.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it was bad.
I'm a thrifter.
It was bad. I was bad, but it was wonderful to be across from Goodwill. But I loved it. We were in a building with a couple other nonprofits, and I really got to know the Washington area and just really fell in love with the people in Washington. And of course, learned more about Dress for Success and the impact. I knew from the beginning, Dress for Success was never just about the clothes. It's a part of it, but it's just the start of it.
It's the mindset that comes from the clothes, from the programs.
Yes, it is really almost like that doorway into connections, relationships. I think the most important connection that I started to see at Dress, I remember it was in the Washington location. There was a woman that came in and she had left years of an abusive relationship. She had her 2 little baby Peanuts with her. Aww. And, we kept them entertained while she tried on clothes, and she wound up trying on a dress, and she was tall. She was about 5'10", and it didn't fit anybody else, but it was a dress we'd gotten donated. It was a beautiful Calvin Klein dress, and she tried it on, and it fit her perfectly. It was always too long on other people, and I remember her looking
I'd be that person.
Oh, yeah, it was like a ball gown.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Like, no, I couldn't even hold it out. It was longer than
You're like, is this for my bed?
It's like a duvet.
My twin.
My extra small twin.
Yeah.
Extra small, extra short, petite twin. Yeah, for my 5'2" self. She tried it on. She looked amazing. And I remember she looked in the mirror and she got very teary-eyed and she was like, oh my God, there I am. Like, I haven't seen myself in years. So that's when it hit me for sure. Not even giving women confidence, because, we're clothing, connections, confidence. But we, I think, get to see women remember who they are in those moments. The confidence gets buried. It gets buried sooner for some folks than others. And you really forget your own power. I think you forget your intellect and your possibilities, because the world and relationships and systems tell women what we're not more than it ever tells us what we are. And so, or encourages us. So that was a moment.
Especially if you have kids. Like, you're in sweatpants a lot if you have kids around and you're at home.
Or even if you're working. I mean, many of us have to still work. And you're either your work or you come home and you do your unpaid work, which is taking care of a house.
And then later your side hustle or your other side hustle or whatever you got to do.
Yeah.
So it's really nice that you guys make them feel like a whole person, like they're not just a mom, they're not just an employee.
No.
They're a woman and they're need to be taken care of.
Right. There's no us and them. Like, people ask me all the time, what kind of women do you serve? There is no kind of woman, right? Me, you, women. We just serve women. Shaka Khan says, I'm every woman. That's what we do. We serve every woman, you know? And it doesn't matter what stage of the game that she's at. It's just, and like you said, it's holistic because we are whole people. We're intersectional people. We're not just a role. We're not just who other people say we are or an idea. You know, we're whole people. So it's the whole shebang with it, which I love.
And you also have mobile units.
Yes.
And a new location. In Washington, in Pittsburgh.
Well, yeah, so we moved
Yes.
twice. We moved twice, I want to say, in 3 years. So the Washington branch, which used to be, like I said, in West Bow Street, in an office building, moved to the Washington Crown Center, so in the mall.
Out in the mall.
Out in the mall. I honestly can say it's the only time I've been in a mall the last 5 years is probably going to the Washington location. They're right near the, this is a tough word for me, Rural King.
Uh-oh.
I can't say that word.
Not the word rural.
I can't. Can you do it? So you
Rural.
can't do
It's
it.
next to the king.
It's next to the
The
king.
farm king.
The king.
Rural.
Rural. You know what I'm
Rural.
saying. It's next to the king. We'll just call it the king. Not to be confused with Burger King. So it's next to Rural King. And it's right there in the mall. It's a beautiful location. I mean, it was a shop. So the boutique is gorgeous. Genevieve and Margie keep it running like it's a tight ship. But it is full of like love, fun. I love, one of my favorite things still is seeing women come in, get suited. And so it's just a very tight-knit community, I think, in Washington.
Yeah.
And so when women come, I mean, it's a party. It's a very personalized experience. They're right
like
there.
Shopping.
It is shopping, yes, without the pressure of like buying or selling. You know, it's a time for her. And it's devoted to her. And then in the Allegheny branch, we moved from what we consider, I guess, maybe North Oakland, Bloomfield area. Once again, in an office building that was shared to our own space in Lower Lawrenceville. So you can see the Strip District when you walk out our front door. It's a building on the corner. It's our own space. It's off of more bus lines. So it's much more accessible than our last space, which is important. And it's our own. So it's great. So yeah, those were two bigger changes.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you. And they were both for the better. And then we also already had our 2 mobile units. So those have been hustling and bustling now for a few years. The mobile units started out of necessity. And actually the very first, we would say, mobile client was in Washington a year before I started. So, which was 2016. So it was about 2015 or 2014. And it was a woman who got a job at a hospital and she didn't have a way to get here. And you can't start a lot of these jobs without the clothes.
No.
Right?
You definitely need the clothes.
You need the clothes, especially in certain settings. So she's like, can you get them to me? And so Robin, who used to run the branch, got her sizes, figured everything out, met her at a convenient spot for her. And even though that wasn't a mobile event, she was served locally.
Something.
Yeah, it started. We're like, well, if one person needs this, then 1,000 people need it. And then I remember the very first, I would say, event was at Cal U through someone who worked in the office building, Jeff Nabili, who works in the office building, and his wife.
Thanks, Jeff Nabili.
Thanks, Jeff. I love Jeff so much. Thanks, Jeff. He's no longer in that office building, but his wife works at Cal U, Bridget, and loves what we do. And he's like, hey, can you go down? And we arranged to talk to like 6 students, a coworker and I, just about kind of presence, interview skills, things like that. Yeah. And they're like, just bring some clothes. So we were prepared. My coworker was very prepared. She came with a van full of things. I had a Yaris, which is like as big as like this chair.
It's like a purse.
Right. So I could fit a purse on wheels. Yeah. So I could fit what I could fit in there. And luckily she was prepared because what started as 6 students, then they started. The youth these days were amazing. They started Snapchatting. I've learned what that is.
Of course they do.
Yeah. I didn't know what that was.
They're so fast these days.
I know. Like, we're Snapchatting our friends. And before we knew it, was 26 students all came that day and all got stuff. And then Cal U was like, can you come back like every few months for incoming students, outgoing students, spring, winter graduates? And that's what started, really, I would say, like mobile services events. So used to be the exception to the rule. Now I would say any given month, if we're seeing 300, 400, 500 women, about 70% or more are served in the community via a mobile services event.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a big change.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It really flipped in the last couple of years, but it's incredible. And now we have a 3rd mobile unit that we got recently, which is incredible and very needed. And this mobile unit will be doing a lot of work in the Jefferson region. We're a part of the collaborative, so it's been great to do things like at AHN, with the hospitals, that's a big one, at the library in Bethel Park, Rainbow Kitchens.
I love the library in Bethel Park.
Yeah.
I love all of our libraries.
Yeah. Oh, libraries are, like, it's great that it's like a non-commodified thing that just people have access to, which is so rare these days. So the library's been great.
Those ebooks.
Oh, see,
You get them for free.
I'm still a sucker for the,
I am too.
I know, for the hard, you know.
I still like the Dewey Decimal System.
Girl, no.
Throwing it out there.
No.
I don't mind the computers.
No,
But I love like a book.
Yes, yeah.
And the library book.
Yeah. I love the connection to the library.
Yeah.
Instead of rustling.
You know. It's like,
oh yeah, I love it. Fold in the little pages. Yeah, I was just reading an actual book yesterday.
She dog ears everyone.
I do. Sorry about it.
It's okay.
No, and not my
if
library.
It's your book.
Not my library books. Nothing but respect.
You can destroy it. That means it's well read.
Not my library books. Nothing but respect. But no, my books that I get at the thrift store, which is usually where I get them. So they're usually like 20 years old. I'm not like reading up and coming novelists lately. But yeah, I dog ear them. It's fine.
It's fine. It's reading.
They're well loved.
Yes.
So thank you, Bethel Park Library. Yes. There's been so much outreach too happening. So there's always newer places, newer community partners in all the counties that we serve that are like, yes, please come to where we are. Because there are women already living here or residing here. They're getting their education here. A lot of women that are in residential programs that are reintegrating from being incarcerated. You know, this is where is a safe space for them where they're growing and learning. So let's come to where they are, you know. So it's great. I love it.
And you can walk them through. And Genevieve, I mean, you go into the Washington, she is all about it. So she can always help.
Yes. Yeah, we love it. So we're still seeing women in the county, you know, locations, but mobiles, I think, have become the standard to literally meet women where they are. Has made a huge difference. It's great.
And absolutely no shame in your game. If anybody out there wants to get in touch with Dress for Success to get to be part of the mobile unit to stop by a store, please reach out to the chamber, swrcoc.org. We can help direct you over to Liz. If not, go to Dress for Success
Pittsburgh, dressforsuccess.org.
See, I'll write that
If
down.
you just Google Dress for Success Pittsburgh, though, too, it'll be your first, it'll pop up first on your search engine, and it'll tell you, it'll give you all the places we serve, and volunteer opportunities, too, because we're volunteer run. When you think about serving 400 and 500 women a month, we're a very small team as a nonprofit. Most nonprofits are small teams doing big work, and we're no exception, so volunteers are incredible. We love them
volunteer
so much.
opportunities are always available, even if it's just for the weekend of these fab sales, which we'll talk about in a little bit here. And also, you know, giving. If you are spring cleaning and decluttering your home.
Yes.
Even aside from just clothing, they can donate other things that are super in need for these women. So can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so the things sometimes that you don't think of or take for granted. So for example, we know in Pittsburgh and around Pittsburgh, what does it do every day? Almost it rains. And so I mentioned something to a group that wanted to do a donation drive, and I said, well, umbrellas would be great. Because they break all the time. You know, if you're running to your car, that's one thing, but if you have to use public transportation or you're primarily walking, it's a real downer to have to do that without an umbrella. So
babushkas just don't cut it.
I'm going to take your word for it. Yeah.
They don't?
not in this climate. Not in this climate. No,
umbrellas are better.
We need like the real umbrellas. Yeah. Oh, I mean, we won't turn away a babushka. We won't turn it away.
We won't turn away the babushka.
Please,
okay,
I'm on record.
Yeah.
Okay? That's on the record. But umbrellas, you know, personal care items are huge, and they're so expensive, and every woman that sees us gets at least 3 personal care items. So we're talking about like the basics, like toothpaste, toothbrushes, body wash, lotion, and even time of year. You know, lotion's great year round, but summertime, you know, when you're dry, it's just drier. At wintertime, it's dry, you know, so when you think about like chapstick, things like that, deodorant, pads and tampons we want to always have, and those are just a given. Like, those, in my opinion, should be free for anybody that needs them, but they're not.
There's a few countries that do that.
There
I definitely
are.
think that should be put into place.
That seems like common
At least
practice.
like a sign-up form. That if you really need them, come on.
Come on now. Yeah, so whenever we get those are just fair game. We put them everywhere in all the boutiques, and those aren't a part of that, like 3. We're not going to make someone choose between tampons and, like, deodorant. And, a babushka.
A babushka. Here's your tampon. You're a babushka.
Right, like, that's just...
Be on your way.
So we...
I really don't feel that pretty right now. I'm out of there.
Trust me, you are. Trust me. Yeah, so we want to make sure to have, like, choice. That's the thing. I think a lot of women just feel like they have to make decisions all the time, and it's like the lesser of two evils, and we want it to be the opposite of that. So we want people to feel like they have actual choice. Black hair care products is a huge one because we can be using Suave. It's not cut it. So specific products are helpful. And even, like I said, those extra things you don't think of. Socks, bras. We only take those new, packaged or with the tag on it. But that's one of those things, like, that once again can be very expensive. And if you have other priorities like food or kids, it just doesn't happen. Purses are a big one. Those don't have to be new, just in good condition. Purses go really quickly because it feels like an eccentricity to have a nice purse.
Well, and you can always have the same clothes, but then you add a nice purse.
Yeah. And it's useful. It's a utilitarian thing. Like, you keep things in the purse. And, the mom bag that people, I have no excuse. I mean, that's what I use because it's easy, it's convenient. But when you're talking about going and feeling good and going into an interview, you want a purse, Yeah, you don't want a big, like, reusable TJ Maxx bag, preferably.
No.
Not in that context.
No,
so,
you probably want, like, a handbag.
Yes, a handbag, that's the word, yeah. So things like that, that are great, too, because we've had people that are like, I don't know, I'm not really a shopper, but I'm a couponer, and so here, I always get buy one, get one, here's a hair care product, We try to make it easy and accessible for anybody that wants to donate. And when you think about 400 and 500 women a month sometimes, that's a lot of stuff.
3 times... Yeah.
Math.
Was I just doing Common Core?
Don't ask me these questions. I gave up as soon as I didn't have to do it anymore.
Just more, bring more.
Just, more is better than less. Yeah, that's the basic equation. So we go through it, and it's really meaningful. And a lot of the women that come, they're, like, surprised when they're like, wait, what? Like, I can get deodorant? What?
Well, they probably aren't used to having that just given to them.
No, and and especially in the context where it's not given, like, here, take it and go. There's dignity, there's respect, there's a relationship happening, and we always have surveys that we do with our clients to try to get an idea of what we're doing well, what we could do better, and we read every single one. And the thing that we get the most often, the response we get as, like, a write-in response is really, it's nice to see that there's people that still care. Yeah. And that's heartbreaking because it indicates
struggle.
So much lived experience for so many folks where people just don't care. But it's encouraging because that's why we're here. And so it keeps us doing what we're doing. So it always comes back to being about more than the clothes. It has to be. It's people, it's relationships, it's authentic, it's love, it's respect, and it's community, it's safe community, which is beautiful.
You're doing a great job.
Thanks, Mandi.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
And even aside from just business and workwear, you also accept medical scrubs.
Non-slip shoes, casual. Like, we have a suiting we call a rebuild suiting. So, emphasis is on success, not dress. Like, the dress comes, the stuff comes. Once again, that's a part of it. It's integral, but it's not where it ends. And so success for a woman who maybe she left, as the woman I mentioned before, she might have left a terribly violent situation. And a lot of times what happens is she has to leave quickly and she can't pack. That's a luxury. You can't pack. You just got to go. Or he destroys her things because this is a power move. And so she has nothing. And if she has nothing on top of having to take care of kids, that's not always the case, but who's going to get their stuff first? The kids.
Kids always do.
Always. And so that's where we come in terms of what we call a rebuild suiting. This is for women who just need sometimes the basics. They're not even ready to think about work because they're just trying to survive. So it's things, once again, that some folks might take for granted, like having sweatpants, having leggings, t-shirts, regular sneakers. They get extra personal care because they're starting again. When we talk about trans women whose clothing may not express their gender identity, and sometimes it's not the issue of money, it's the issue of feeling safe. And so coming to a place, instead of going to like a TJ Maxx where they might feel, you know, whatever, we've had women say to us, yeah, just going in public and getting kicked out of the fitting room. Like, it's embarrassing, it's degrading, and at the worst, it can be unsafe. And so sometimes we're just, once again, a safe space and an affirming space. And so that's another type of rebuild suiting that we've done a lot of. So that's where we need basics. So it's kind of nice for folks that want to donate. Don't stress out. Like, you don't have to separate, you know, your like Mandi Pryor looks from.
They're from the fab sale. We'll get into that.
From like your everyday, you know. Yes, same here. But you don't have to separate. Don't worry about it. Just, you know, throw it all together. As long as it's in good shape. And I say, if I wouldn't wear it, I don't put it out on the floor for clients. You know, why would I do that? So just make sure it's in good shape, and it will go somewhere, and it's needed, and it's so, so appreciated. Thank you in advance.
Great.
Yes.
I've always had an appreciation for what you guys do, so just keep up the good work.
Oh yeah, you've been around.
I will.
Yeah.
I really have. Thanks, Tanya. But you do even more than we're going to cover today. So definitely get involved. You can be a donor of the month and donate every month to the cause if you can't donate products and items. You also have a fab sale, which I just mentioned.
Yes, I know.
It's my favorite time of year.
A lot of you, I'm sure, know Dress for Success, and maybe even interact with us the most via the fill-a-bag sales, the fab sales. And one thing we started doing with the recent sales, they used to happen at the same time in every location, and then it was just Allegheny and Washington. And what I love is that they're like, well, no, let's alternate, because there's folks that want to shop at both that can't.
True.
Want to volunteer at both that can't, you know. As a team member who wants to attend like the pre-sale for both, I can't be in two places at once. So
what?
Believe
she can't be in both places.
I've learned the hard way. We've tried and we've failed. So it's nice.
You're the mobile unit. She can make it.
I am a driver. I can drive it. I can whip it pretty good. So it's just nice to have that alternate date. So the next sale is at Washington, and it's coming up in T-minus however many hours. It's on Friday the 31st of March.
Yes.
It's at, it's in the mall, but you'll see there's signage because they're not doing it in the boutique itself. They lease space in the mall, which is so wonderful. The mall has been so supportive. And so they'll have a space in the mall.
Tanger Outlets.
Yep. Wait,
I'm sorry, Washington Crown
what?
Center.
Yeah, Washington Crown Center. No,
what?
Not Tanger Outlets. Cut that.
Crown Center.
Crown Center.
Next to the Royalty.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Sort of.
That's the boutique. And then you'll see they have around the corner, there's huge signs because it's actually kind of a bigger event. So in addition to the pre-sale, which starts at 5 p.m. on Friday, the 31st of March, they're also on Saturday working with the ARC program, and there's going to be a fashion show component that I believe is at 1 p.m. Sales starts prior to that, and on Saturday. And so if you want to come support the sale, but also stay for the fashion show, I believe it's going to be like gowns are going to be modeled, donated gowns.
Just in time for prom season.
Yes. Yeah. And then also some regular fashions. So and then there's going to be some vendors and things like that throughout the mall that Dress for Success is going to be a part of. So
I've been part of their fashion show. They made me construction worker.
I remember that. Yeah, and you
I was very proud to represent construction girls out there everywhere.
It was
with my hot pink construction hat.
You looked very legitimate.
Thank you.
With the suspenders.
It was the hopping.
Which I didn't realize the suspenders were part of the trades, but you learn something new every day.
Yeah, something in there.
You did a great job.
Thank you.
Great. Yeah, you're not going to be in this fashion show, but
I'm not.
Okay, that's fine. I'm sure it will still be an amazing show. I'm excited to see it. I love that we've kind of made the fab integrated into a part of this general Washington event going on at the mall on Saturday, but the pre-sale is still the pre-sale, so it's kind of like a happy hour vibe, party, networking. pre-ordering your bag, and then you can also donate bags. So any questions about the Fill-A-Bag sale specific to Washington, you can find on our website, but if you just email Genevieve directly, and it's Genevieve, lowercase Genevieve, so all spelled out, Genevieve at Dress for Success
I'm glad
Pittsburgh.
she didn't ask me.
I know. You don't have to, you already did so much math. At dressforsuccesspittsburgh.org. She'll be able to point you in the right direction to answer any of your questions. But the Washington Fill-A-Bag sale is always an amazing time. It's just a lot of energy, and it's great to know that every dollar is just going right back into the work. So all those things we talked about with mobiles, you know, that's mileage, that's fuel, that's a lot of time, it's a lot of things. And a lot of those things we don't get donated all the time that are high needs, like scrubs and personal care items, non-slip shoes. Those are all things that are needed in work, and those are usually things that you can't, once again, start the job unless you have them. We don't get those things donated, so we're raising funds year-round to provide those things, and Fab is a great way to support doing that, I think in a fun way, and you're getting a bag full of amazing clothes and shoes.
I do have to say, I have a problem when I go there, in that, I mean, if the bag is full, I will still find a corner in which to stick more clothing.
Girl, yeah, you gotta know
and
how to do it.
I mean, it is for everyone. I have tons of events. I'm always changing. You know, you want something fresh and new. And this is a great opportunity. Not only are you helping out Dress for Success, but you're getting some new fun items.
Yes.
It's time for spring and summer, so you need to update your wardrobe a little bit, and you're doing something for a good cause. And you're saving money. So it's all good things.
I
it's
think
all good things.
Average in that bag, if you're spending, $35, $45 on the big bag, I have fit up to 23 things. Was the last time.
Oh, you
are you kidding me?
You got carried out like this.
Yeah, I had somewhere to be, so I just had to do it. But I always try to get your money's worth. So when you think about, come on,
you definitely
less than $2 an item, and some of these things. I got a great winter coat last time. That's why it was tough. Because with the winter coat, it took up most of my bag, But this time it's more springy stuff. So just, roll and tuck. Look for a corner.
You might want to practice ahead of time. You're rolling.
That's what you should have done. You should have really done some kind of just cast, if you will.
Right.
Like a tutorial. And maybe you could do that next time.
Next time I will. I will definitely.
Okay.
I'll play pretty music.
I think you owe it to
fold, roll.
You owe it to the people.
No, that's all the stuff I want. Never mind, don't come.
Please come.
Come after.
Come after.
Please go.
Please go.
Please go to the VIP. Go to the fashion show.
Yeah, and it runs through Tuesday. So we've got Friday, Saturday. Oh my God, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So I would say come on the front end. Obviously, you come sooner. They're putting new stuff out, at the end of days. But when you think about it, I've always come either on the pre-sale or that first day after the pre-sale. You want to get the goods.
It's true.
So there's
and
jewelry.
They have shoes and belts and jewelry. And
jewelry. I actually got this necklace, which I really love. It's a statement piece, and it's included in the bag price. I couldn't believe it. So, and I wear this necklace all the time. So I got it at the last Washington sale. I love it. So yes, jewelry. Definitely I got shoes there, which was incredible. And the Friday sale, they'll have food, like hors d'oeuvres and drinks and things. So I loved it. It was just like a nice, fun way to spend a Friday. And I liked the networking piece because I got to meet new people.
Yes.
And talk to the volunteers. And it's all people that love the work and love supporting and empowering women. So it was just like a very positive vibe, which was probably my favorite thing about it. Second favorite thing after the clothes. Third favorite thing after the wine. So it was
hard to tell.
It was hard to tell. There's so many favorite things. But so any questions, email Genevieve. Once again, everything's on our website. And if you follow us on Instagram.
And you can volunteer to help break down and put things up, and that's always a need too. So.
Yes, yeah. Genevieve has a great crew, like a core crew of Fill-A-Bag volunteers, but she will never turn away a volunteer for anything. So, and once again, if you're going to volunteer, it's a fun atmosphere to volunteer.
It is.
So do it. I encourage you.
Well, thank you, Liz,
Yes.
for coming on today. I think you've told as much the story of Dress for Success as we can in a short period of time.
Thank you.
You have tons going on. Yeah. Follow Dress for Success on social media. They're on LinkedIn. They're on Facebook. They're on Instagram.
Instagram.
TikTok yet?
No, Twitter, but nobody does that. But yeah, I'm trying to get us on the talk.
You should.
Because, yeah, you know what I mean?
Just a little talk.
Just a little. We'll see if it's maybe not even be a thing anymore. So we'll just.
That's true. We'll wait a couple weeks.
Yeah, we'll wait a couple weeks. We'll see you on Instagram in the meantime and LinkedIn. Yeah.
Anyway, thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
I will share out their website, their
Yes.
contact information, volunteer information, all the information I can so that you guys have it all in front of you and you can contact them as opposed to me, who obviously doesn't know all the things. So
It's all right. You don't have to.
Thanks.
That's what I'm here for.
Thanks. And thank you for watching and listening to the Southwestern PA Business Podcast. Thank you to Edward Jones, Matt Lichtenstein for being our sponsor of the program. And we look forward to bringing on a new guest soon. Mandi Pryor, said Dress for Success. Mandi Pryor, Executive Director, Southwest Regional Chamber of Commerce, and Liz Mims,
Director of Client Services, Dress for Success Pittsburgh. Woo!
Woo!